The slope of a line measures the steepness of the line. Slope is the same as rate of change or unit rate when the relationship is proportional. One way to think about slope is like a staircase, associating slope with rise over run. Slope equals rise over run. Rise is how many units up or down, change in y. Run is how many units right or left, change in x. Rise means how many units you move up or down from point to point. On the graph, that would be a change in the y values. Run means how far left or right you move from point to point. On the graph, that would mean a change of x values. A positive slope means that the graph is increasing as it goes from left to right. A negative slope means that the graph is decreasing as it goes from left to right. Zero slope is a horizontal line, and an undefined slope is a vertical line. Here are some visuals to help you with this definition. Number 1. Slope equals rise over run, which equals the change in y over the change in x. I have to pick 2 points on the graph and then see what the change in y was and the change in x. So the change in y was 2. From these points, the graph went up 2. And the change in x was 3. The graph went to the right 3. Pick a point on the line to check it. I want to pick another point on the graph and then see if I go up 2 and then to the right 3 if I end up on the line. And I do. So my slope is 2 over 3. Note that when a line goes up from left to right, it has a positive slope. Question 2. Slope equals rise over run, which equals the change in y over the change in x. I have to pick 2 points on this graph and then determine the change in y and the change in x. The change in y was negative 2. This graph went down 2. And the change in x was 1. The graph went to the right 1. Pick a point on the line to check it. You can pick any other point on the graph. See if you go down 2 and then to the right 1 if you end up on the graph. And you do. The slope equals negative 2 because negative 2 over 1 reduced equals negative 2. Note that when a line goes down from left to right, it has a negative slope.